Uh, okay, there we go. Okay, so basically, before we get into like the actual like showing you guys what I do on social media, first, I just wanted to talk about one topic. And if you were on Kristen's accountability call earlier, if you're still part of that 90-day group she's doing, this might be a little repeat, but I think it was just super important to share with everybody because she had me go on today and talk about, just like putting yourself out there and using these Friday deals and these weekly closes that we have. And so I really just wanted to touch on this for you guys first. So I apologize if you heard it earlier today, but just for the people that didn't, I feel like it's so important. So, first of all, with it being Friday today, I just want you guys to kind of switch your mindset when it comes to your goals. So, a lot of people have goals and they say, like, for the month, they want to hit this rank, right? So, for example, people that have never promoted before often have the mindset of, like, okay, I want to go builder this month, or this month, I want to hit blank, right? And what me and Kristen were really talking about today is that we need to start switching that to weekly goals, because if you give yourself a month to do something, you're going to work at that pace to hit it at the end of the month, right? Or if you tell yourself, I want to hit it by end of December, you're not going to be pushing to hit it sooner than end of December, right? Whereas if we look at it as, okay, if I hit builder by this Friday, I get that paycheck next week. So instead, we need to be thinking weekly, because even if you don't hit it, you're still working at the pace to hit it, right? And then think of how that will reflect in your team and start that domino effect of people actually working with those like quicker goals, right? Instead of thinking, okay, I'll work slower for the rest of the month, and then come month end, then I'll really push and I'll make sure I hit my goal then, right? What if we switch that and we were like, okay, if I go builder by next Friday or by this Friday, I'm going to get that paycheck. And then I can start showing that, talking about how I made money. I can show my team that I closed out this goal this week and I'm already making that money. So now you can start telling your team anything you do this week, you get paid next week. And it starts this ripple effect of people not waiting for month end anymore, because we get paid weekly. We don't get paid monthly, right? So we have to start looking at it as working to get paid weekly and not working to get paid monthly, even though we're still paid weekly, right? I hope that makes sense. And it was just something she said today. And I was like, that is so true. We need to talk about that more, because so many people are like, okay, these are my monthly goals. This is what I want to hit. And then they get bummed when they're continuously not getting those weekly checks, right? But you're only pushing for the end of the month check. Why are we not pushing for every week check and talking about that with our teams? Like, instead of what do you want by the end of the month, what do you want for this week? And then you have that money in your hands. You can go spend that gas money or get the groceries instead of waiting to get it next month, right? So that's what we're going to kind of be going off of, because we have huge sales this weekend, you guys. The deals are amazing. The fact that we have 20% off products that stay at the full product volume amount, and this calming hot cocoa, like, I'm so excited about it, you guys. This is so marketable. Like, so many people struggle with stress and anxiety. So if you weren't planning on talking about this new product, you're going to want to talk about this new product, okay? So first, I'm just gonna kind of share what I do with social media. So mainly my things are posts and stories and just Instagram and Facebook. And so one thing I will say is I'm not a pro at like TikTok or Reels yet. I am starting to do Reels. I'm trying to, but I would be a hypocrite if I acted like I was great at them. My main things though are like the posts and stories and interacting and things like that. So that's what I'm really going to dive into with you guys. Starting with posts. Okay. So posts are easy for some and really hard for others, okay? Drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like you struggle with posts, like you just don't know what to post or when to post, or like literally anything. You're just like stuck, right? That's what we're going to talk about. So for me, I guess it kind of depends what you're really focusing on though too. If you're somebody who really works the customer part of the compensation plan, you're going to want to have posts about the products often too, right? For me, I love doing the business side of it the most. So I really focus on the business ones, but there's nothing wrong with doing a mix of both either. But for business specifically, I think regardless, what you want to do, okay, this is going to sound so silly until I explain it, okay? So I call people, like the people on my friends list, I call them my potential potentials because they're not potentials yet, but they could be, okay? And how I make sure that they actually could be is if I have something on my page so close to the top that if anybody were to go to my profile at any time, because if we're working our business, people creep your page all the time, right? So if you're properly interacting, you're, commenting on people's stuff, whatever it is you're doing, people will go to your page, right? And if you have absolutely nothing on there about what you do, you potentially just lost a potential because they don't even know what you do. They don't have anything to ask questions about. There's nothing that intrigued them because you haven't talked about it. But if you make sure that you always have something about what you do or the products you're using close to the top of your profile, at any given time, somebody could go to your page and within at least like 2 or 3 scrolls, they see something that could have them curious or asking a question or wondering what you do. So that's what I tell myself is if I at any time go to my page and there is not something that talks about what I do close to the top of it, I am failing. I could have had people go to my page and I completely lost them. I could have had their attention, but I didn't. So that's something I want you guys to think about is that literally everybody on your Facebook could be a potential if you talk enough about what you do. But you don't want to be super spammy either, right? So where is the line? A lot of you are probably wondering, how much do I post? And that's a really good question. So I honestly do 2 or 3 max, I would say, but I even do usually like 2 posts max a day because I focus more on my content rather than posting a lot, right? So for example, I might do a personal post as well as a business post in one day. Or if, let's say, for example, tonight I go to put up a post about the new product, I'm probably not also going to do a business post. I would probably do personal next, right? Like you have to have a good measure of all of them. So I wouldn't do too many, just do a few. But anything that's not a post can go in your stories, okay? Because I'm just going to explain the algorithm to you guys really quick. And like I said, if anything doesn't make sense, please feel free to ask questions. I'll try to explain things in as much detail as I can. But with stories, there is no algorithm to it. It's whoever posted most recently in their stories shows up on everybody's news feed as like the first picture on their news feed, right? So if you make it a habit to always be in your stories, you will constantly show up on people's profiles. So the way I look at it is I'm going to put kind of like the highlight reel on my actual posts, right? Like the pictures I like, the ones that kind of look more put together, the things that I like actually work on so that it looks really good, right? That's what I'm going to use as an actual post. But behind the scenes, I'm going to be in my stories like all day, every day. They're going to see when I look like a hot mess. They're going to see when my house is a mess, when like everything is not perfect. Okay. And you need to have that mix of both. Because if you wait, like there's people that tell themselves, and maybe this is you, maybe you tell yourselves, like, okay, I will post next time I shower, next time I get my hair done, I'll do a story next time I feel like I look better, right? And you're so hard on yourself, you feel like you can't do it until everything just feels right, or your house is too messy, so you can't take a video of what you're doing with the kids, right? Has anybody ever felt like that before? Like you feel like you can't actually create content until it's perfect, right? Relatable. But what I want you guys to realize is that that's actually the opposite. If you are waiting until everything is perfect to talk about this opportunity or the products or to work your business, you are actually doing yourself a huge disservice because the people that are watching you, do you think they always feel put together, that their house is always immaculate and everything is perfect and organized and put together? No, they do not. So if you are constantly feeling like you cannot show them what you have to offer until things look perfect, and you're only posting like the highlight reel and everything is clean and you look put together and you just like everything is perfect, you are going to scare those people away. It's not realistic. It's not authentic. So now the people following you then feel like they have to be perfect to do what you are doing. They feel like they then can't do this because they don't have time to get put together every day. They have a crazy mom life or whatever it is. Maybe they're working 4 jobs. They don't have time to clean their house every day. Whatever the idea that you are telling yourself, you have to remember that you are then projecting that onto the people who might be watching you, who might have been interested in working with you, but you are so put together and perfect and you don't show like the realness of the in between, that they also feel like they can't do it because they're living in that in between. They're living in that moment where they haven't put on makeup or done their hair today, or they haven't cleaned their house, so they can't do a video of them playing with their kids, right? So you have to be yourself. You have to show those moments of my house is a disaster, but I'm playing with my kids and I get to work from home, right? Even if it's you laying on the couch in your pajamas with your kids or with your dog. I know we have pet moms on here. Take a picture of you in your pajamas and talk about how you get to make money while you are laying in your pajamas. That is a hell, pardon my language, that is a hell of a lot more relatable and exciting to people than you looking perfectly put together, a clean house, saying that you're spending time with your kids that way. Like, that's great. If you're somebody who has everything organized like that, props to you. Like, I'm jealous because I do not. But I'm telling you that the days when I'm real about that, and I go in my stories and I share with my followers that like I have not showered in days, my house is a mess, but I'm at home playing with my kids and I'm still making money even though I haven't showered, I haven't gone to a job, I'm just at home living this crazy life. That is what people want to hear. So first, what I want to say to you guys is you need to get out of your own way. You are not going to be perfect at it before you start. You cannot wait until you feel like you're great at it or you know what to do or that it's just magically going to be easy one day and then you can start. You have to just put yourself out there. We all start from zero. It's crazy to even believe. Like, I don't even remember who I was when I joined this industry. But when I first started, you guys, I couldn't do stories or taking like selfies. I was so self conscious. I hated doing any of this. Like, I was that person that was like, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to put myself out there. But one day I decided to just start. And that is when this industry changed my life because that is when people started to trust me. They felt comfortable enough to ask me what I'm doing or to say that they relate to what I'm doing and that they needed information, right? So you have to put yourself out there. You have to. Okay. So my main thing that I tell myself I have to do every single day is I have to put my face out there how I am that day, whether I look put together that day or whether I have not showered in days. My face has to be out there. So I don't necessarily have to do a post looking like that, but I sure as heck will be in my stories. There will be a video of me, whether it's making a product. Like right now, for example, I'm drinking our meal replacement shake. I could go take a video of me making this and explaining what it does. Or maybe I'm going to talk about the deals, or I'm going to talk about how, we're doing trainings for the team. Whatever it is, I need to have a part of me, authentically me that day, either in my stories or in a live video, so that people see, yes, on my profile, yes, I try to use the better pictures and look more put together, and that's like my highlight reel. But if they want to see the real me, I'm in my stories, I do the live videos. They also get to know me as a person, okay? And that's what a lot of people are missing. A lot of people come to me and ask for advice on social media. And if I go to look at their pages, they're not using their stories. And I cannot, I know preach sounds bad. So I don't want to say I cannot preach this enough. I don't know the right word though, but I cannot tell you enough. Stories are huge, huge. Because with posts, there's so many algorithms to it that Facebook changes all the time. I don't even know what they are half the time. Like for example, if you're not interacting on other people's stuff, they might not see your stuff. Or if you're doing too much product or too much business and you're not being yourself, people might like, there's like an option to like, I don't even know what it's called. You can like mute somebody or something. Like there's so many ways that people don't see your posts, but your stories are always your stories. Whoever posted most recently shows up first. So if you are constantly working on your stories, even if you don't post in days, sometimes I literally forget to post. And so if somebody were to just look at my page, it looks like I'm not working, but my stories are always ongoing. So you can see me throughout the day. You can see me working my business, taking the products, things like that, right? So stories are so key. Regardless of what else you do, you have to get in your stories, okay? So I'm going to challenge you guys to start doing that non-negotiable task of putting yourself out there every single day in your stories. And it doesn't all have to be product or business either. Actually, a tip for you guys that I always try to do is that at the start of each day, I try to make my first story something that is not business or product. Because on Facebook, for example, you can see a sneak peek of what the story is, right? So if it's something to do with like your personal life, whatever it is, food you're eating, something funny or an inspirational quote, something like that, people might click it to watch it, right? But if they can literally see that, okay, it's just you talking about your products again, they might not watch your stories for that day. So if you always make sure that the first one every day is not business or product, people will click it, and then you sneak the business and the product in throughout the day in between more personal ones. So as an example, today, I don't have a ton up today. Today is like the one exception to where it's not full. I'm sorry. We had the worst night. My baby was up all night, so I was so tired. I literally napped for hours this morning. I missed out on hours of my stories. But if you go to my story, for example, the first one is of her in her high chair, and I'm talking about how we had a rough night. Second one, then it goes into me saying, but I'm so thankful for this energy drink that we have, and it's just a short little boomerang. I don't know if you guys can see that, of me making my sports drink, right? And so I relate my personal story into the product. And then the third one, it just says, but for real, if you need a clean source of natural energy that powers you through the days and your workouts, the strawberry coconut drink is everything. And it's literally just a picture of the product. So it's just that. It's simple as that. I have my link on the bottom. See, that's another thing too. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you how I make my stories in a second. And then it goes back to me talking. So me in my stories, right? So that is something I do every day. And that is how your followers will trust you. Okay. So that was the first tip I wanted to share with you guys, is be in your stories every day, no matter what you look like. If you have makeup on, if your hair is done, if you just got out of the shower, I don't care. Well, maybe not if you just got, maybe that was a bad example. Maybe make sure you're dressed first. But okay, next, let me see. This is where I'm going to see if it works. Hold on. Let me see if I can make myself on my phone the host so I can screen share with you guys how exactly I do what is a boomerang. That is a good question. That is one of the things I'm going to try to show you. Make host. Okay, I'm the host now. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share screen. Zoom. Start broadcast. Okay, let's see if this works. Hold on. Where am I on? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I do my stories, okay? So first, I make all of my stories on Instagram. All of them. And you can actually connect them. So in your settings, I believe if you hit this thing up here, top right, okay, and then settings, now it's, I think, account. Sharing to other apps. Okay, so you can have it connected. I believe that's it. If not, it's somewhere in there. But you connect your Facebook and your Instagram. So every time I add to my Instagram stories, it also goes to my Facebook stories. So it's going on both profiles at the same time without me having to do any extra steps. So that is a really good tip, is have them connected, because then I make my stories on Instagram, because there's so many cute things that you can do in here. So just as an example, let's say I'm going to add okay, here, let me find a random picture. Okay, so yesterday we went to the library. I'll pretend that this is today. We did not leave the house today, but I'll pretend it's today, okay? So let's say I'm gonna add this picture to my story, okay? And if you didn't see how I did that, you just click at the bottom here. There's like the little picture, see bottom left, right? It shows your camera roll. So you just click on that. You can pick a picture that you wanna upload. And then this little button at the top with the smiley face, the square, kind of looks like a sticky note with a smiley face on it. That's your sticker button, okay? So in here, you can add a location. So I could add that we were at the library and it will like tag the library. You can hit mention and you can tag a friend. You can do a question box. This is really cool for if you're doing business or product ones or even personal. So for example, I could say, give me a book recommendation, right? Like that. And then people can, ooh, look at that spelling. You can tell my, what's it called? Where it like fixes your spelling. It did not kick in there. But right, you can add questions like that. I could put that on the bottom here. Or I love these sliders. This one is so fun. I do this on so many of my stories. So if it's a business one, you could be like, slide for info, or a product one, right? Or even on something personal, like let's say I could just be like, do you love the library, right? Like anything like that. Those are so fun. Interactive stories will get you more views if you continuously do like the question boxes, the sliders, like the polls. A poll is a good one too, right? So just a random example, do you go to the library? Yes, no, like I'm just using this as like a theme example. I'm not saying this is like actually what I post about, but I'm just trying to show you what these all do, right? And then link. So if you wanted to add your link, so for example, in that Q Sports story I did, I can hit link and I can type in my link. Boom, done. It now has my Q Science link attached to my story. So people that want to order can literally just go to my link right then and there. Quiz, that's kind of the same thing as the yes or no, except for you can do like a bunch of different options. You can put like one right answer to it. So things like that. So there's a ton of fun stuff in here that you guys can play around with. And like I said, it will get you more views because it's an interactive story rather than you just showing something. You have questions, you have polls, you do the things, right? A boomerang, that's a good question. So on here, when you go to, instead of adding a picture, if I were to go make a story, right? I could even post, okay, let's say I could take a boomerang right now and it is, oh my gosh, I don't know how to point at it. It's the little like infinity symbol, okay? So if I hit that infinity symbol, okay, see how that's activated now? It makes a short little video. See what it did there? So instead of a picture, it made a very short little video. Those are good for like if you're making a product, for example. I love those. So let's say I was going to go take one of my shake, right? I could do that. There. Now I have a little boomerang and I could just put like I could say, love this shake so much, like something so basic, right? Something like that. And another thing you can do on here too, when you click on the wording, you can change the font. And then this top right, so you'll see there's like the color wheel up top, right? That's so you can change between the color and the font. The one beside it bolds your wording. So you can see now there's like different like shapes, it's all bolded. The one beside that animates your writing. So it makes them do like weird things. That one does like a weird like shiver thing. This one flashes in. My favorite is the very, very last one. It types it. So you can go through and just kind of pick which animated font you like the most, right? So this is my most common, like not bolded. I'll have it like this. Same with like, I'll show you my like one that actually gets me the most interaction. Like let's say I did a business story, okay? Let's just pretend, or okay, I'll just go like this. So let's say it's my sports one, okay? I would put this, I'll put a slider, and then I will say swipe for info, and I'll add the typing thing to it, put it underneath, and it just looks so cute, right? Like something as simple as that makes your stories so much nicer than just pictures. You can tell a story, you can add cool things to it and have people actually like interacting with you while they watch it. So stories are my favorite thing to do in this business. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm glad that I was able to help add to this. Okay, when is music too much to add? Honestly, music is really cool, especially if I've seen people do like if you're doing a promotional story, like somebody in your business promoted or a sideline promoted, put like a badass song over top of it. Like music over it is cool too. I don't know if I showed how to do that one. So that would be, for example, like if I posted this video about the hot cocoa, I could then go add music. Oh God, I don't even know. I'll just pick a random one. But beautiful day, you can add to it.
Oh, it's a beautiful day.
If it would actually play it. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to show you how to do it. Heidi, no. Out, please. Out. Sorry, guys. 2 seconds. Out. I'm calling Daddy. Can I have it? 5, 4. Counting always works. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, so that is how I do my stories. So I'm going to stop sharing because I believe that was all I was going to show you on how to do stories. And so like I said, connect those. Yeah, literally when you get to 1, she's like, oh, okay, I'm out of here. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so connect them. And so then what I do is throughout the day, even if I'm not putting up an actual post, I am always in my stories and I just make them on my Instagram stories and it connects right to my Facebook then. So it does both at the same time. So that is huge, 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 huge. Like 90%, if not more, of my enrollments come from my stories. And some days my views have been as high as like 1,200 story views. Like it's crazy how high they'll get when you just stay consistent with it, because that's when people know that you're actually going to be in there, right? Like if you only ever post in your stories like once a week, once every other week, every other day, like they won't watch it as much, right? Because it's almost only when you're wanting to work your business or only when you feel like it, right? Whereas if you always have it going, it's so much more authentic because people see when you're not put together and when your life is a mess because you're on there anyways. And that is what people want to see. Does anybody have any questions so far about any of this, like about like making posts or stories or anything like that? What was I wrote notes. Hold on, let me check how to make them, how to post in them, the algorithm. Okay, so I guess the other thing too that I'll mention is I kind of touched on this earlier, but when I mentioned that there's a bunch of algorithms to your posts, that's one thing. It's crazy. So it literally is like if you feel like you're not getting any interaction on your posts, which I know lots of people have gone through, so you feel like there's nobody liking your stuff, there's nobody commenting on your stuff, there is a good chance that it is because you are not interacting on anybody else's stuff. And if you don't comment on their pictures, Facebook actually can make it so that they're not seeing your stuff. Like people might not even be seeing it. You might just be like, I don't know what the word would be, like blacklisted almost, because nobody interacts with you. You don't interact with them, right? So if you want to keep your algorithm at an all-time high, you have to interact with other people as well. So a tip for that I love doing, and again, it's all about building habits, right? Like you just have to start. It didn't feel natural at first, but now what I've gotten into the habit of is like at night, if I'm just laying there watching Netflix or any of like the reality TV shows I love watching, I'll scroll Facebook at the same time and I just comment on everything. Like I compliment every new profile picture I see or a selfie. I'm complimenting those girls because girls love that, right? It's so easy. All you have to say is, "Oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous. Where did you get this shirt?" And I'm being serious. I'm not being fake about it. I'm being serious. I love complimenting people and it makes them happy, right? It builds our relationship. Win-win. That's like a triple win, right? And so, and side note, that then comes into play with them going to your page, right? If you're interacting with people, you better make sure you have something on your page that they could go to and be like, "Oh, what does she do? Oh my gosh, she's making money in her pajamas right now." Right? Like it all ties in together. So make sure that you are being loud about the opportunity that you have so that whenever you do anything, if people decide to go to your page, they see it. But anyways, while I'm scrolling, I comment on everything. And so what that does is it makes Facebook believe that I'm actually friends with these people because it actually tries to detect if you actually like know each other or not. And so if you never interact, they kind of make it so that like you don't see each other's stuff. But if I'm commenting on their stuff and they go look at my stuff and they end up commenting on something of mine or they're watching me, then boom, we now see each other's stuff, right? So spend time each day commenting on people's stuff, liking their stuff, complimenting them, asking them questions, like just genuine things. You don't have to be fake about it, but just if you see something that's actually cool, tell them. Instead of just scrolling past, tell them you appreciate their post. Ask where they got it. Ask what kind of dog they have. Like whatever it is that you're thinking, just comment it. So that's a huge tip, is to help with getting actual interaction, because one thing I can tell you guys, I have been so lucky to always have great interaction on my page. Like if you're somebody who follows me, which feel free to do that for post inspiration if you want. I am maxed out on friends. So don't be offended if I don't accept friends that are already in the company. I don't have much room for more, but you can follow. But I always get likes and comments, and it's because I do that to other people. So that is the big thing, is you got to spend time interacting if you want people to interact with you. Okay. What was the last thing I was going to say? Okay, few more tips, and then that's kind of all I had to share with you guys. Hopefully this is all helping. Let me know. Let me know if any of this has like helped you guys with how to go about this so far. The last tip I was going to give you is using your friends list and birthdays to help you organize your friends list. Okay, so what I mean by that is I use my Facebook friends list or your Instagram followers, however, whatever you mainly use. But for me, it's like 90% Facebook. Okay. So I try to look at my Facebook friends list as my dream team list, meaning if they're on my friends list, they're somebody I would want to work with. I would feel comfortable talking to them. I would feel comfortable working with them. And they're just somebody that I feel like I would vibe with. Right. So what I do, a super easy thing every day, is to search birthdays. You can literally search the word birthdays in your search bar and it pops up who has birthdays that day. I message them, happy birthday. Nothing crazy. I'm not going out of my way to be like fake or anything. I'm literally just saying, happy birthday, exclamation mark, heart. That's it, right? So that's not only interacting, I'm getting in their inbox, I'm being just genuine, leaving it there. I'm not going in with the business or anything after. I'm just wishing them a happy birthday. But also, what I do is I go to this list of people with birthdays for the day and I go down each name, okay? And I start with the first one. And if they haven't been on Facebook in like a year, or they're like super rude or dramatic or causing problems, like something that just gives me a vibe that I would not want to reach out to them, I delete them. Because if they're not somebody I want to work with, I don't want to chance it that this person ever messages me wanting to make an income and they're not somebody that I would even feel comfortable talking to, right? Treat your Facebook friends list like a list of people that you would want to work with. And so that's how I utilize my birthday list every single day, is I'm messaging them to help with the interaction and creating those relationships. But it's also helping me organize my friends list so that I'm not keeping people on there that aren't even active or that are just, causing problems, things like that. Same with, you can also print out your Facebook friends list. And this is something a lot of people, I feel like it would help so much, and not many people know you can do this. So there is steps. I could try screen sharing again. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Screen. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you guys. See if I can find it to show you. So you're going to go on your Facebook, and then you're going to hit settings. Oh, of course they changed it. Of course they changed it. Okay, I'm gonna find it after, and you can always like message me, or I'll send it in the chat, something like that. Of course, right when I go to show you guys, they've completely changed up where it is. It used to be under personal information, and it's not. But I'll find it. But anyways, you can print off your Facebook friends list, and then what I do, I actually have it right beside me. I'll show you guys. So I go down the list of my Facebook friends, and I kind of do the exact same thing. So I start at the first name. I go check their page out. Again, if they haven't been active in forever, I just delete them, because you want to make it your goal to have as many Facebook friends as you can, and you want them to be active, positive people that you would want to work with, right? So if they're not using it, you might as well just delete them. But if they are using it, I will again check, make sure they're positive, make sure they're somebody I would want to work with. If they're not, delete them. If they are, I'm going to go comment on about like 3 other things. I'm going to like and comment, just give them some interaction. And then that is now somebody who you can really focus on building that relationship with, to message them, to invite them to an opportunity event, right? So now I know, okay, this person, I would love to work with her. I've interacted with her before. She might have seen my name. Now I know tomorrow I can go respond to her story, or I can ask her a question in her story so that it pops into her inbox. And now she really saw my name. And then a few days later, if I want to, I can go ask her to come to the event, right? It's so easy to just keep track. And so now I know, like, I highlight them when I go through. You can see there's lots crossed off. Those are people I deleted. So you can see, like, I take it seriously. If somebody is like not a nice person, I don't keep them on my Facebook. That way, anybody that does want to work with me, if they reach out, I know it's somebody that I would love them to be part of this. And they're almost always good at it, because I work from a mindset of abundance. There's always people out there that are going to be amazing people, that are going to be nice and fun to work with, and they're going to love this. And so look for those people. You don't have to keep the people that are creating drama and being negative. Like, you don't want that on your team. You don't. So just don't have room for it, right? But if they are, so I either cross them out, or I end up highlighting them because they're somebody I have actually talked to about this now, right? So it's so easy to organize it that way if you have your whole friends list printed out. I think that's all I had for you guys, is just those tips on posting, stories, things like that. And honestly, it's huge. So like I said, start. You have to start. You can't just wait till everything is perfect or till you feel like you'll be better at it. You have to just jump in with both feet. It will get easier. You will start to have fun with it and feel more confident being in your stories, posting about this and doing all the things. And yeah, I hope that helped you guys. If you have any more questions, let me know. You can send me a message. I'll answer. But yeah, I'll end this now, and then we can, if anybody needs the recording, it'll be up on my YouTube later. And yeah, so thank you guys for coming. Oh my gosh, I'm glad it was helpful. So yay! Bye guys.